Well, hello, family and friends, and welcome back to another episode of Meaningful Moments with May, the space where we get to slow down, soften inward, and explore the parts of ourselves that are ready to heal, grow, and be seen with compassion. But before we begin, I would love to wish all of you listening to this episode today a very, very happy and safe new year as we move into 2026. Can you believe it? I'm looking forward to welcoming 2026 in with excitement and love. So today I'm going to talk about a request that I hear over and over again. May, how do I learn to trust myself again? Or it shows up as, how do I stop doubting myself every single decision I make? If you've ever felt unsure, overwhelmed, or indecisive, or perhaps disconnected from your own inner knowing, if you've ever felt like you can trust others easily but not yourself, or if you've been living in survival mode for so long that your intuition feels faint, this episode is for you, my friends. We're going to talk about what self-trust really is, why so many of us lose it along the way, and how you can gently begin rebuilding it from the inside out. So before we begin, let's take a big deep breath in through our nose and exhale it through our mouths like you're sipping it from a straw. And let's begin by defining what self-trust really means. Most people think self-trust means always being confident, always making the right choices, never second-guessing yourself. But true self-trust isn't about perfection. It isn't about always knowing the right answers. And self-trust isn't about never feeling fear. Self-trust is the belief that even if I don't know the outcome, I am capable and can handle it. Self-trust is the belief that even if I make a mistake, I will learn and grow from the feedback and care for myself. Self-trust is the belief that I am on my own side. Self-trust is not the absence of uncertainty. It's the presence of inner safety. Self-trust grows not when life is easy, but when we meet ourselves with compassion during uncertainty. Here's why we stop trusting ourselves in the first place. If you struggle to trust your decisions, please hear this. There is nothing wrong with you. Your self-doubt has a history, but you're not your history. Your uncertainty comes from experiences, not weakness. Self-trust often breaks down when you grew up being overly corrected or criticized. Your feelings weren't validated. You learned to prioritize other people's needs, and you were punished for mistakes. So sometimes these mistakes weren't even your own. Like you were taught to be easy, good, or agreeable. Here's where it gets a little deeper. You experienced a trauma, betrayal, or emotional inconsistency. Think of relationships. Every time you've had a bad relationship, you start going, well, I don't know how to pick them, right? So you carried responsibilities that weren't yours. In these environments, your nervous system learned my internal signals aren't reliable. That's what it learned. So someone else knows better than I do. My wants and needs don't matter. Self-trust doesn't disappear suddenly. It gets conditioned out of you. And the beautiful thing is it can be conditioned right back in. Slowly, takes a little time, but let's just discuss why decision-making feels so hard. When you don't trust yourself, decisions feel like danger instead of choice. Your brain goes into that, threat scan mode. What if this goes wrong? It starts creating catastrophe. What if I regret this decision forever? It goes into self-comparison. Others know better than I do. And then it also can go into freeze response. I can't choose, so I won't make a choice because I don't know what to choose, so I just won't choose. But the truth is, that's still a decision. And you don't struggle because you're incapable. You struggle because you haven't been taught to feel safe inside yourself, inside your own skin. The problem isn't the decision. It's the lack of inner grounding beneath your feet when making the decision. So how do you rebuild self-trust from within? Here are a few simple, loving, compassionate steps that you can start today with. 1, start with micro decisions. Ask yourself small questions. What do I want to eat? Do I actually want to go? This is a huge one and an interesting question because I can remember showing up at parties and events when I didn't really want to be there. I was people pleasing, keeping the peace and controlling the outcome with predictability. Does that sound familiar to anybody? And again, ask, what does my body say? Does it say yes or no? And then honor your answer, even if it's tiny. Self-trust builds in the small moments long before the big moments come. So practice some self-validation. Before asking for advice, ask, what do I think? What feels right for me? Really pay attention to your body because it sends us signals all the time. When you're in tune with those signals, it gets easier to make decisions. What outcome aligns with my values? Do you even know what your core values are? This is an important decision-making practice, getting into alignment with what really matters to you most. Trusting your authentic self, and this builds internal authority. So 3rd, release the pressure of perfection. I like to say I'm perfectly imperfect. That kind of helps. Self-trust doesn't come from choosing the best option. It comes from reminding yourself that whatever happens, you're capable and you can handle it. Mistakes aren't evidence that you shouldn't trust yourself. They're evidence that you're human and that you're growing and that you're learning. And with the right mindset, you can turn any stumbling block into a stepping stone. 4th, practice reconnecting with your body's wisdom. Your intuition doesn't yell. It whispers. Your body also gives signals like goosebumps, tingling, excitement, as in butterflies. Try this exercise. Put a hand on your chest, your heart, if you're capable, if you can, and take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through your mouth, like you're sipping on a straw. And ask your body, does this feel open or tight? Your body often knows the answer before the mind does. You can actually feel constricted energy in your body and expanded energy in your body. And if the energy feels constricted, dig deeper, ask deeper questions. If it feels expansive, give thanks and move forward. And the 5th and final exercise is talk to the part of you that's afraid or resistant. With love and compassion, say, I know you're scared, but I'm here with you and I won't abandon you again. This creates internal safety, which is the foundation of self-trust. As we wind down, let's take a moment of reflection and or journaling if you're into the journaling thing. And if you're able, not if you're driving, I say this all the time, you can always come back to this episode. I'd like you to close your eyes, take a deep breath through your nose, exhale it through your mouth like you're sucking on a straw, and hold your hand to your heart space. Ask yourself gently, when did I stop trusting my own voice? Whose approval have I been seeking? What part of me wants to be trusted again? What would I change in my life if I believed I could handle anything? Self-trust doesn't return all at once. It returns through presence, compassion, self-love, and consistency. And it returns through relationship, the one that you build with yourself. If today's episode spoke to your heart, and if you're ready to rebuild trust in your inner voice and decision-making skills, I have another resource to help guide you to go a little bit deeper. You can download my free e-guide, The Pillars of Self-Trust. Inside this guide, you'll learn the foundational pillars that strengthen inner trust and how to reconnect with your intuition and why decision-making feels so overwhelming. It'll give you practical tools to regulate anxiety around choices, daily practices that rewire your self-belief, and scripts for self-validation and inner reassurance. It's gentle, powerful, and designed to support your healing from the inside out. You can download it using the link in the show notes or visit maicalev.com, maicalev.com/trust. Thank you for sharing this meaningful moment with me today. And if this episode supported you, please feel free to share it with someone who might need the reminder that their inner voice is worth trusting. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And remember, you are capable, you are wise, and you can trust yourself again. Bye for now. Happy New Year, everybody.